Hello, unlimited friends, and welcome to day 12 of our 40-day workout. Our affirmation for today is, I want to feel good. The reason we ask for feeling good specifically is because whatever you ask is a desire, and whatever you ask, whatever your desire, it is always granted. So if you want to feel good, the universe has given you the gift of feeling good. I want to talk to you today about how this actually unfolds in our lives. We all want to feel good. Everything that we do, everything that we want with the purpose that having it is going to make us feel good. But there are two things that we need to understand. One, we need to recognize the fact that we're not feeling good. And second, we need to know what to do about it. This is where, when I'm coaching people, I find that things go sideways. Because first of all, if you don't feel the need to change how you're thinking your thoughts, then you're going to stay in that space of not feeling good. So let's say somebody has gone down the emotional scale and they're not feeling good. But if they don't recognize where they are, then they're not going to know that there's a need for them to change anything. So that's the first thing. Understand where you are on the emotional scale and don't give in to that feeling. I know because I've been there that when you're feeling bad, sometimes it just feels good to go there and you keep going there again and again because reviewing the circumstances and justifying to yourself why some people acted the way they did and why things happened the way they did, it just feels like the right thing to do. But it's not, because doing that does not give you solutions. Doing that does not feel good. Ultimately, it digs the hole deeper and makes it harder for us to climb out of it. So when you feel that your thoughts are going to a place where you're not feeling good, then you need to know what to do about it next. So it starts by recognizing and telling yourself, uh-oh, don't want to go there. I'm going to stop now. What can I do to change the way I'm thinking? And the first thing to do in order to change the way you're thinking is to change what you're looking at, actually looking at with your eyes. If you, when you're focused on a problem, you're staring out towards a wall or you're staring at something and not actually seeing it. You're not actually focusing on it because you're focused on the event in your head. So if you stop and you actually deliberately focus your eyes on something different, another object, maybe it's a book. For me, it's a book because that's what I have next to me over here. Maybe you're near a window and you can look out the window at the sky. Maybe there's a tree there. Maybe there's a child bouncing along on the sidewalk. Shift your eyes, the focus of your eyes on something that has nothing to do with the thoughts that you're thinking in here. And when you do that, you will shift, because the next thought that comes into your head will be about what you're deliberately focusing on. And as soon as you change what comes into your head next, you've changed the way you're thinking. And now good things can start happening. Now you've taken back control, whereas before you didn't really have control. So a lot of people who've been coaching with me and a lot of people on the group as well know that I call this a fire drill. And I call it a fire drill for our minds because you know how when we practice fire drills in public buildings or even in apartment blocks, etc., where we are taught that when we are in panic mode, We need to know exactly what to do, because in panic mode, you're not really thinking with clarity. You've lost your clarity. So you can do things that are not good for you when you're in that mode. And that's why a fire drill is taught to people, so that they don't have to think about it. They just have to do it. And that is a really important distinction to understand, because a lot of times people think that all of law of attraction work is about thinking. But when you're in panic mode, that is not the time to do any sort of emotional, vibrational work to take yourself up the emotional scale. That is the time to act to save yourself. So when you're on auto-destruct and your thoughts are going negative with a very high momentum, which means that you're going repeatedly to the same thought again and again and digging that hole deeper, I call that auto-destruct. Because the result of that is a spiral that goes down the emotional scale and takes you into the depths of despair. In order to stop that descent, you have to practice a fire drill for your mind. And what I mean by that is you just take a card like this and you write down on this card something that you will think about when you're in panic mode in your head. So that something can be anything. It can be a meal you had. It could be the picture of a beautiful place. Anything. You need to have a fire drill that tells you exactly what you have to do when you're panicking inside your head. So it acts, what I call it is your thought anchor. It's the anchor that keeps you from floating away with your negative thoughts. You can write on this card, look out the window. And so then what will happen is you'll shift your focus and you'll start looking for a window. And if you do that, for that moment, you've taken your thoughts off the problem that you were thinking about. You've taken yourself off of auto-destruct, off of panic, and you're now focused on something like looking out of the window that involves no panic at all. So what that does is it helps you to go up the emotional scale just a tiny little bit. Not all the way up, just a tiny little bit. But every time you go up, the world looks different from that place and you have more clarity. And as you keep going up the emotional scale, you have more and more clarity. And with more clarity, you make better decisions. With more clarity, you feel better. With more clarity, life feels better and you feel you have more control. And folks, that's how you do the work that helps you to feel good. So all I want you to do today and every day henceforth is to remember what needs to be done when you're on auto-destruct. When you're worrying about something and you're going in a loop that goes round and round and round and just makes that feeling of being out of control, spinning out of control worse. This is how you take back control. You take it back with a fire drill for your mind. Now, in addition to this video, you can go to my website, ZMAHOON.com. There's an article on my website that I wrote years ago called The Fire Drill for Your Mind. Bookmark that article and use it again and again to remind you how the fire drill works. Thank you very much for being here today and joining me for the 40-day workout. I am going to see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a fabulous day. Bye for now.